How's it going, everyone? My name is DrapPep. Welcome back to another installment of this series. I want to start reading posts that I find on Reddit. I see a lot of people online do this, mostly podcasts, and it seems like a lot of fun. I enjoy listening to their commentary about how they feel about the posts and sharing their opinion on what they read. And honestly, I I think I could do that. I think that's something I'd be into. So what I did was I went on Reddit. I started checking out a lot of the Reddit forums, a lot of the Reddit posts, and I wanted to see what the top posts were of all time, right? Just set the time frame to all of it and organize it by whatever's the most popular. And let me tell you something, a lot of these posts, yeah, I can see why Reddit's addicting. I don't really go on Reddit often, but I just might. That a lot of what I'm reading is gripping. Like when you start, you're pulled in. It's hard not to not read. You it's like listening to the most juiciest gossip is what it feels like. And I'm addicted. I'm now addicted to reading these articles. A lot of these are really good, especially the one I'm going to read right now. You see, I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, so I feel like I would have some kind of input when it comes to something like Dungeons and Dragons. But this, I was not ready for this. I was not ready to read this one. This caught me off guard. So the subreddit is called r/RPG horror stories, and I I mean let me just read it and you'll see what I mean. I'm playing a female character. The DM had an NPC hit on me. I made it clear that my character was not interested on multiple occasions. I missed a session and was told my character slept with the NPC and will have to make a check to see if she is pregnant. I'm furious. What? What kind of a check would that be? Oh, give me a medicine check to see if your character's pregos. What? Give me a constitution saving throw. Are you serious? Did you fail health class? Do you not know how this works? That's awful. That was, first of all, never do something with a player's character without them present. Which, that would be even worse. Oh, well, your character gets inebriated. Now watch as they kiss. Like, no, don't do that. No. But, like, the fact that the player on multiple times has told you that's not what they want, and you do it anyways while they're away, is taking full advantage of that. That's kind of narcissistic, to be honest. It's really cringe, really creepy. Honestly, a DM that does that, that's a red flag. That's you might be hiding more than just being a bad DM. Let me continue reading. Unfortunately there's more. I asked if he was serious and he said yes. I told him that it was wrong to do that to someone's character, which it is. 1,000,000% that is very wrong to do. He said something about alcohol being involved and left. That's not how that works. Alcohol gives you a point of exhaustion. Get enough of that and you start failing checks. Here's the thing. An NPC can do a constitution check on you to try to become more suave, right? Just become more interesting to your character, but you still have the right to say no. Vice versa, by the way, if you, as a player, are trying to convince an NPC for intel, or better yet, a better example is, let's say your character is trying to convince the NPC to hook up, to have that night of fun, to wrestle in the bed. You know what I mean? So you do the charisma check, like, ooh, I rolled an 18. You don't have to have it happen. You could just be like, oh, the person looks at you and goes, oh, that's really sweet, but I'm okay. What? I passed my check. It was supposed to be a success. Yeah, that response, that was the success. That Them letting you down softly, that was the success. That's yes. Them not being offended and immediately attack you or call the guards or call you out, that's what would happen if you failed. But to let you down politely and not take offense, that was the success. So you don't, just because the players pass something doesn't mean they're going to get it. You don't have to give them everything. A lot of times when I try to scale what my players get when they do an investigation, I like to give them either more or less information based on either how well they succeed or how bad they fail. They could still fail a check, and I could still give them a little bit, but not as much as they should have gotten if they had passed. That way it still pushes the story forward. If they do an investigation and the DC they had to beat was a 13 and they rolled, like, let's say an 8. All right, well, on that investigation, you can tell that the person was, in fact, killed by an object that was penetrated into their body. But you don't know of what kind. Versus if you had passed it, yes, the person was, in fact, stabbed by a knife approximately 6 inches in depth. Okay, well, they get a little bit more. Okay, well, let's say they, got well above it. Oh, well, you know for a fact that the knife that was stabbed into this person was of a ritual matter. That this is, what you're looking for is something of a ritual-like blade. Right? You can start adding more and more details based on how well or how worse they succeed or fail. So just because they pass on a check does not necessarily mean that they get or don't get something. You get to decide what they get as the DM. But this is bad. No, granted, alcohol does give you points of exhaustion, which enough of that will allow you to roll with disadvantage with your checks, which means that your characters can fail, but so can the NPCs. If they're drinking, their constitution checks roll with disadvantage when they get exhaustion from alcohol. And that makes it that much harder for them to pass on something. But that's all it does. It doesn't instantly make you succumb to whatever the NPC wants. It just means they now roll with advantage or disadvantage, which in every instance when alcohol is brought in, I've never seen anything that goes, oh yeah, when you drink this bottle of elven wine, it's going to make you roll with advantage. So they said that alcohol was involved and they left. I'm planning to quit the campaign. What would you do? I would quit the campaign. I would. Whenever a DM takes it upon themselves to try to make your character do something that you didn't want, I mean, why are you there then? If they were going to make your character do something that you explicitly said that you didn't want to happen, and they did it anyways when you were not there, means they don't really respect you. They don't respect how you play the game. And they would rather have it happen the way that they want to happen. You're not there to play a game of a story where everyone's working together. You're there to play their story that they're wanting to put together. And you're just kind of along for the ride. At that point, are you really needed? Are you really? Just leave, if that's the case. You're not there to play a story with your friends. You're there to play his story. His game. That's just how that is. Now, of course, in my campaign, I have a character who I'm trying to get impregnated, but it's something I've talked with the player with first. It's something that I go, hey, how would you think about this idea? They're for it, because the idea is that their character is an orc, and they're mating with a bone demon, and I said that the half-orc will be a half-orc, half-bone demon. And that will be their next character they're going to play as. They're going to be the child of those two. So it's of their character, and then once that story arc finishes, they're going to keep playing as the child of that character, who is also half bone demon, which is like a really interesting like homebrew character race that they're going to play as. But this is something that me and this player have talked about. We've agreed on this. We've discussed it, and we've put up like boundaries of what was okay, what was not okay with that character development. But this, they've clearly have voiced that they were not okay with it, and you did it anyways. Kind of makes you a creep. Kind of gives a kind of a cringe element to it, and it's not okay. It's not okay to do that to someone's character. If you're listening to this and you are thinking about becoming a DM, don't do that. Do not make character developments without the player knowing, and definitely don't make major developments without them present. That's just not cool. That let them decide what they do with their character. Unless it's, of course, their character dies, then there's nothing they can do. That's just how the cookie crumbles. That's just how it is. You're gonna have to make another character sheet. But when it comes to like story development and character development, don't make decisions for them. Let them make those decisions. Allow the character to develop naturally. Don't force it down their throat. That's all I had to share about that. That's it for this episode. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.